Did you count those for me? Let me do a few more. Do you want to know the M&M method for more effective workouts? Do you think I'm talking about M&Ms right now? Hey, listen, let's talk about effective workouts. But first, let me do a few more. You want to know the M&M method? M&Ms. The M&M method, just pop the M&Ms in your mouth, like reach in a bag. Do more reps, more M&Ms. No, seriously though. Let's talk about getting more effective workouts. There is a method, the M&M method. I'm going to share that with you right now. Welcome to, goodness, I can't believe, 3 away from 200 episodes of The Daily Dose. Today we're going to talk more specifically about exercise and to give you something you can take so you can have more effective workouts. Because one of the most detrimental things you can do is waste your time. If you have a little bit of time, is to actually waste it doing workouts that aren't effective. So let's talk about that. Let me tilt this up so I'm not leaning over so I can stand. So we're going to put it in perspective. It's upside down. The M&M method is this. You need to minimize to maximize. Minimize to maximize. And let's talk about that. One of the things, and I'll just share an example. One of the things that's crazy, when I had a gym, we actually used a timer. In fact, for 6 years, for the most part, unless some people counted, I never, zero, let's just count that, zero, never counted reps, ever. We never counted reps. In fact, my gym, the premise of it was in interval based. It wasn't necessarily high intense, although some of the workouts are super high intense. It wasn't just high intensity workouts, but we did interval timer. When we were doing group fitness, that way people could work at different levels in the time frame they have. It's very similar to what I do with my students. We don't count reps unless there's like a specific goal and they want to do a certain amount of push-ups, or, and I don't work with bodybuilders or figure competitors or like hardcore gym guys, and they might need to know, I got to get my 1 rep max. Like, I got to get that. That's not what I'm talking about. This message isn't for you, but the M&M method, minimize to maximize. You can remove the things that you don't need. Here's what happens. We get so stuck confusing ourselves with what we think is the right kind of exercise. There's so many techniques out there, so many professional experts telling you need high intensity workouts, you need strength, you need to use kettlebells, you need to use bands, you need to use a TRX, you need to go like ultra high, you need to do boot camps, you need to lift heavy weights. There's so much out there. And the reason why I started this with some good old fashioned jumping jacks. Check this out. Jumping jacks have been around forever, since I've been in school, gym class. I remember as a little kid. Throwback, right? Take yourself back to gym class when you got started. And I remember our gym teacher said, all right, it's time to get warmed up. And then we do like the old school kind of static stretches. And it's interesting, last night I had we had our weekly training. We did our inner circle training, and I gave my students 3 ways to 10x their results, not just to make them more efficient, to get better, faster, bigger results with their workouts. And we had a training on that. It was 45 minutes. We do that weekly. We do live trainings every single week. But I also discussed this M&M method, because what happens is we get caught into these like shiny objects. We're like, oh, you know what, jumping jacks, I've been doing them. I've been doing them for a while, and did you hear me? I haven't done jumping jacks in a little while. But if you do them with intensity, if you do them with intention, you still can get results with that. Now, if you're only doing jumping jacks, probably that's not enough, but it's a good start. Like, jumping jacks is minimal, like minimize. You don't need some crazy like jumping jack with a squat and a toe raise and put some weights in and then do some sprints in between and then flip a tire. Trust me, we did all that stuff. And I would say sometimes when you start to confuse, you end up losing Got to minimize to maximize. If I can get this message across to you for today's daily dose, my encouragement to you is to try to minimize. The one thing as parents, busy parents, dads and moms and families in full-time jobs, is you want to be able to minimize all the extra stuff, but it's hard when maybe we're not putting the effort we need to or being as consistent, and then we look over there and like, oh, what's that person doing? And then you end up, trust me, I'm the first to admit I get distracted easier than anybody. You've probably seen it even when I'm doing these lives, is I get, I'm like, oh, look at over here. Oh, look at that pretty bird behind me. And you get distracted. It's the same thing when it comes to working out. We get overloaded and it's not minimal. We think, we need to do our strength training, and then we got to make sure we're getting in an hour of cardio. And gosh, there's a class over here. And you know what? They have that new mirror that we can put up in our house, and we could do all that thing. Guess what? Chances are you're going to do jumping jacks in that mirror just as much as you would do, say, in a YouTube class or some kind of Zoom workout, right? At the end of the day, minimal. You got to get minimalistic. Here's perspective. Perspective is when you start to confuse, like they talk about muscle confusion. Well, you can't get to the muscle confusion if your brain is confused with what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing, or how much you should do or how many reps you should do. And that's actually purely the value why people invest in a coach, so they can provide the clarity they need in the direction and accountability. And if you want help, just shoot me a message. We'll get on a call and we'll talk about whether or not you're a right fit. Now, just so you know, on a side note, I work with people over 40. So if you're listening and you're under 40, maybe you're 30, chances are you're not if you're on Facebook. But if you're under, probably not the right program for you. But if you're in your 40s and you're just tired of being told so many different things, if you want a minimal approach, if you want to know the basics, the most important things in the time frame you have, then you and I need to talk. So minimize to maximize. So what is maximize? Like, how do you maximize workouts? Well, look, if you have goals set up, if you just work out to work out and you have no goals and you have no timestamp when you want to achieve the goals, and you're just going through the motions, don't expect to get awesome results. Don't expect. The way to minimize is to actually structure it out. Say, hey, Kay, okay, that's my new word. Hey, Kay, you're going to set your goals for yourself. What do you want to achieve? The next 2 weeks for the end of the month. What do you want to achieve for the year? Then from that goal setting is to make a plan, have some structure. How are you going to get there? What's going to be the simplest approach, the most minimalist approach? I think of it as it's really your meds, your most effective dose, your meds, take your meds, right? But the M&M approach is truly something that can work for anyone, any level, is you minimize, remove all the junk. We get sold into believing we need all this extra stuff, and we don't. In fact, majority of my clients use the most important piece of equipment, which is their body. We get sold into thinking we need all the gadgets and the gizmos and the things and this and that. And guess what? We get confused, or we do it wrong, and then we get stuck and we give up. And then guess what? There's no results. There's no maximizing results. You want to maximize your results. You want to make sure that you have a plan and structure, and there's no you just go and do it. You get it done. My clients are doing workouts in 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. Some of them are doing them in 15 minutes. And you're like, how do you get a workout in 15 minutes? You have a plan and you have structure, and there is no wasted time. You don't waste time like, oh, what should I do next at the gym? Or, oh, maybe I should do this. And then you start to confuse. And then guess what? Confusion takes a whole lot of time. Hey, it takes a whole lot more energy when you're confused. So get yourself out of confusion mode. Get yourself in the M&M method. Follow the Mark's M&M method. You minimize to maximize. Minimize to maximize. Hope this found you well. Hey, if you're listening right now, hit live if you watch this live. If you're catching this on the replay, and go ahead, share it with somebody. That's all I ask. I've been doing these for almost 200 days, and all I ask is you share this with a friend. If it inspires you, if it helps you in any way, chances are it's going to help one of your friends. And listen, as a fitness professional, I work with men and women, as I mentioned before, who are stuck, who are struggling, who have no idea how to work out, have no idea where to start. They're trying to lose weight. They only have 20 minutes in their day for themselves, and they don't know what to do in that time. Get on a call with me. I'll put the link down below. and you can schedule a call. You have to fill out and answer a couple of questions. And if you're the right fit, we'll talk about that. We'll get on a call. But listen, I'm not interested. So if you're just browsing or just curious, that's your conversation. Send me a message. But if you're serious, fill out the application. If you're serious, what I do is not for free. Just so you know, it's my livelihood. Is how I pay the bills and pay the mortgage and provide for my family, just as I'm sure you do as well. So again, if it's something like, oh no, my budget's tight and I don't have any money, it's probably not going to be for you, just so you know. But if at the end of the day, if you're looking like, hey, you know what, I'm spending a lot of money, it's time for me to start investing in myself, then there's a possibility you would be a good fit. But in order for us to know that, you got to shoot me a message. Let's get on a call and let's talk about it. In the meantime, minimal for maximal. Minimize to maximize. Take care. God bless. We'll talk soon.